today's video, I just wanted to share with you my top tips for healthier skin. So these are all natural, general ways that you can improve the appearance and just the general health of your skin. They're all things that I've personally done myself, and so I just wanted to share them with you today. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Meg, and like I said, today's video is just a short, quick tip video on ways that I have personally improved the health of my skin by natural means, and I wanted to share these with you. I've done a previous video on very similar to this one on hair care tips, and so I wanted to do one on skin today. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so my number one tip would be to try to exfoliate less or just more gently. Now, I've mentioned in a previous video, the video that I did on the 10 bathroom essentials that I use, and I mentioned how I actually now use a reusable cotton pad. So it's actually a makeup remover, but it's just a washable cotton pad that I use to exfoliate my face. So I no longer use anything on my skin at all. I used to use face scrubs, I used to use exfoliators and all sorts of products, but actually I did research on natural alternatives, which is what I switched to when I switched out plastic bottles of face scrub. And I looked at your typical natural alternatives such as coffee grounds mixed with oil or water and also brown sugar. And in the moment they were really effective and your skin feels, you know, as smooth as anything. But actually, after doing research, I read up a lot on skin experts, dermatologists, who were saying that actually the particles in coffee grounds and in brown sugar are actually really quite harsh for the delicate skin on our face, and I've mentioned this in my previous video, like I say, and actually they can cause micro tears, and actually all this does is just accelerates premature aging and wrinkles, and just generally kind of affects the general health of our skin. The skin on our face is very thin compared to the rest of our body, so we really must treat it delicately. And we all know that sensation when we use a face scrub and it feels like we've got a brand new face and, you know, skin as smooth as a baby's bum, as they say. But actually certain exfoliants can actually be quite harsh, and there is a lot of research saying that, you know, it's okay to go over your face gently and massage it with a cloth, for example, a face cloth, or like I use personally a reusable cotton pad. But actually external exfoliators can be really quite harsh on our faces. So actually sometimes it's okay to just leave your skin alone and let it do its own thing. Obviously it's good to get rid of any dead skin and smoothen the skin up, but if you try and do this with just a gentle massage with a face cloth and maybe kind of steer away from harsh exfoliants and don't scrub your face, that's definitely what I would say. I think it's fine if you have more resilient skin. You know, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I have done research on certain exfoliants, and when you're actually using kind of physical, so grainy types of scrubs of any sort really, they can be quite harsh for the skin. So just don't scrub your face, treat it delicately. It is like silk compared to the rest of our body. So yeah, that would be my number one. That took rather a long time, I do apologize. So yeah, just don't scrub your face, exfoliate really gently, or just try and exfoliate a little bit less with more gentle cloths or just more gentle products. Okay, so in at number two, I would say to avoid soap. Now, soap actually is really quite drying for our skin. It's the same on our hair, and actually it strips our face of its natural sebum. So much like our scalp, they produce natural oils. It's our body's natural way of moisturizing our skin and caring for us naturally. And actually soap really strips away those natural oils and those natural sebums. And actually what happens is, and I researched this a lot obviously before I kind of transitioned away from soaps and face washes and things like that, is that actually what happens is, because the soap is so drying and it strips your natural sebums or oils from your skin, then your skin overcompensates by overproducing more oil, and actually your skin gets greasier. And contrary to belief, what actually is good for example, spot-prone skin or blemishes and also acne, but I'm an expert on acne. I'm not an expert on any of this, of course, but so yeah, I wouldn't want to misadvise anybody. But in terms of actually cleansing your face, what they actually recommend is oil. So like for like, so oil breaks down oil, whereas the typical kind of thought is that soap will, you know, give your face a good old clean, which is what its purpose is, but actually it can overstrip the skin and cause it to overcompensate, and then in turn actually it just produces more oil and your face actually just gets greasier. Then you get into that cycle of having to really keep washing away that oil all the time, but actually just kind of leaving the skin alone and letting it do its own thing, and using a much milder wash if you really want to, or try oil cleansing. So it might sound really strange. It's not something that I do myself personally a lot, but I no longer use soap on my face, and my skin has really improved since I've stopped doing that, and I've stopped breaking out as much. So yeah, I would say to avoid soaps. If you have to use a face wash, then try and find one that's milder or soap free. But yeah, just your skin can get really dried out quite easily, so just work with it and try to avoid any harsh drying soaps. Okay, so in at number 3 is a fairly obvious one for me because it's similar to lots of different values that I have about other things in my home, but that is just to try and use natural products or ingredients wherever possible. So lots of conventional, typical commercial products that we see in the supermarkets that we're told that we need on TV adverts, that we have to have for our skin, often they contain a lot of toxic artificial ingredients, and actually they are quite harmful to our skin. They're disruptive to our natural skin's kind of pH, and actually they're really unnecessary. And a lot of the time, if you look at the ingredient list on those products, if you can't read the ingredients, my kind of what I've learned is that if you can't pronounce them, then generally that's a good indicator that they are pretty artificial and they're probably not that great for your skin. So it's always best to work, our skin is a natural part of our body, so it's always best to just try and work naturally with what we already have. I'm not saying cut out all products altogether, of course, but most definitely try to steer away from artificial products that contain artificial and toxic ingredients. So try to use more natural ingredients that don't contain parabens, that don't contain any sort of nasties that we don't want on our face, and just try and work with the delicate skin on our face more naturally. Okay, so in at number 4, obviously all of these points and the content of this video is just personal choice. It's my own personal experience. It's just things that I want to share with you. Obviously, there's no judgment from me. Whatever anybody chooses to do, they're just things that I personally hope to share that can be useful. But number 4 would be to avoid makeup. So sometimes in certain jobs, unfortunately, this isn't always possible. Now, I used to be a daily wearer of makeup. I would not leave the house without wearing it, and I just gradually kind of learned to steer away from basically covering myself in makeup and feeling more confident with my natural self. But trust me, it's not been an easy journey, but that's not really the topic of this video. And so yes, I would say to try and avoid makeup wherever possible. You can buy now a lot of natural alternatives to makeup. So again, similar to my previous point, makeup also contains lots of toxic artificial ingredients that clog our pores. They don't allow the skin to breathe, and not really necessary. We don't really need them on our skin. So try to avoid makeup wherever you can. There's nothing wrong with wearing makeup. I personally just have chosen to not wear makeup anymore. I will occasionally, maybe on special occasions, but my skin has definitely improved. I've had lots of problems with my skin, so you know, I'm not an expert, I'm certainly not a professional. These are just, like I say, my own personal kind of experiences, and I found that steering away from makeup has really allowed my skin to breathe and allowed it to just do its own thing, and also in turn learn to value myself, my natural self more, and build my confidence gradually. I'm not there yet. We're all on a journey. So yeah, I would say if possible, avoid wearing makeup. I know that it can be really difficult when you leave the house. I've lived exactly like that in the past. So yeah, I think try and stick to natural makeups if you can. There are lots that are available now, and just try and, as much as possible, just leave your skin to breathe and embrace the natural you. Okay, so my last tip would be to avoid disposable makeup remover wipes. Now, inevitably, I am not going to advocate the use of disposable single-use items, and they also are not compostable. They are single use, so they're incredibly wasteful. They just go straight in the bin after one use. But more to the point in this particular video is that they also contain disruptive ingredients and sometimes chemicals that the skin just could really do without. They're just not great for the skin. Even kind of brands that are claiming to be suitable for sensitive skin, I used to use them every day. I used to do all of the things that I've mentioned in this video, of course, and that's how I've kind of learned along the way. So yeah, try to avoid makeup remover wipes, especially disposable ones. So what I personally do, and I've mentioned, like I said in my previous video on the 10 beauty products that I use a reusable, washable cotton pad, and I use my argan oil. So oil is a brilliant makeup remover. Like I said previously, like for like, so oil breaks down oil. So usually oil is a really good way to break mascara or any kind of makeup down, and you can go over it again with oil on a damp pad and then just wash away with warm water, and it works really efficiently, and it's giving your skin a moisturization at the same time. So yeah, my last tip would be to really try to avoid any sort of disposable kind of artificial makeup remover wipe. They are not good for our skin, certainly not good for the planet, and there's definitely more economical ways to do it. So warm water is often fine, or oil cleansing, like I mentioned previously. If you want to use a face wash, there are lots of natural alternatives, and then you can just pop your cloth in the washing machine and there's no waste, and it's much better for your skin. Okay, so there were my 5 natural top tips for healthier skin. My takeaway message from this video would be to just not interfere with your skin too much. Try and leave it to do its own thing. Try to work with it naturally, work with what we already have. The body has incredible healing abilities within itself already, as long as we are gentle with it and we care for our bodies from the inside out as well. So that also means just, you know, keeping up your water intake, staying out of the sun as much as possible, and just generally, yeah, not interfering with your skin too much. Wherever you can, try to let it breathe and do its own thing naturally. These are things that have personally really helped me, so I just hope that these were helpful for you too. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and it helps me to grow my confidence, and I'm always really grateful. I hope you find this video helpful. If there's anything else that you'd like to know, please let me know in the comments section, and I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe. Bye.